welcome back to my channel. My name is Lawrencia and this is Bantz with Lawrencia. How are you all doing? So for today's episode, comedian That Worry Girl, a Nigerian comedian, she released a video that has been buzzing on social media where she said,
sometimes when you hear a woman say, I stayed with you when you had nothing, now because you self as a woman, you not get anything, or people won't get something, they not approach you that time. People will get where, forget. They don't tempt you, they don't carry you go car lot, say pick a car of your choice. The man never ask you for anything. You go forget this your love.
She's basically said, if you had stayed with somebody that had nothing, and maybe after the relationship, or maybe you're bitter about something and you had to mention that, then it means that you yourself had nothing, or people that had something did not approach you at that time. So she said, if somebody had approached you when you were with somebody that had nothing, the chances are that you would have gone with that person. Or even if you had something, you wouldn't be bitter to say, I stayed with you when you had nothing. So this conversation has generated a whole lot of comments on social media where some women said, we stayed for love. We stayed for the D. This basically boils down to what comedian That Worry Girl is saying. So she's saying that people stay in relationship for different reasons. Some people stay in relationship because they want companionship. People stay in relationship because, they want regular D. People stay in relationship because they just want, that to be in a relationship, like, oh, I have a boyfriend, the status of I am in a relationship. People do that just because of that. But let's say relationship now end, let's say something happened, and according to her, she's saying that those that actually are bitter, let's say, oh, maybe that person now finally gets money and dates up. They are bitter because they say that, oh, I stayed with you when you had nothing. Now that you have something, you're now going to date somebody else. So the question is, do we date according to our financial status? Because most times guys would date a girl when they are broke. They might not be able to date their type of girl. They might be dating somebody who they can afford, who will not like demand too much material things from them. So they're happy to date that kind of woman, not necessarily because that is their type, not necessarily because that is what they want. That Worry Girl is saying that if you agree to date that kind of guy or that kind of man, then it means that you yourself, you've not found somebody else that is better, has not approached you. That even if you're dating this guy for love and somebody approached you and say, just pick a car, take you to a car showroom and say, pick any car that you want, that you will drop that relationship or that guy in a heartbeat and follow this person with money. I think as a woman, if anybody is saying, I stayed with you when you had nothing, that statement comes with maybe some resentment. Maybe that person finally made money and then realized that, okay, this is not what I want. You're not my type. I need to date up. I need to date within my tax bracket. Or I need to date somebody that, BBL is, everybody wants big bum bum now. So maybe he decides, I have money now, I can afford to approach the likes of Tokema Kinwa. So you're no longer what they want, because now they can afford to go after what they really want or their type. So do you now become bitter at that point because you stayed with him when he was broke? So I think the question is, if you're in a relationship and you're dating somebody and that person does not have money, that person does not have money, or that person is broke, brokenness doesn't mean the person is poor, but that person is broke and you stayed regardless, and you yourself, you're not you're not broke, but you could have done better. And at some point, somebody that has everything that you needed financially approached you. Would you drop that broke guy and go for that rich person? What would you do? What would you do? I mean, we get this a lot. Like, we see people every day talking about, I gave you 10 years of my life, I gave you 6 years of my life, I gave you 15 years of my life. This applies both to not only to single people, but to married people. I think one of the things is, leveling up. Leveling up is very important. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're in a marriage, whether you're in a friendship, to level up is very important. So if you are in a relationship and you are broke, the person is broke, and that person is trying to level up, my sister, level up. Level up. You get why? And if you're a man and you're in a relationship and the lady is trying to level up, my brother, level up. Because one day, after he or she has leveled up and now looking at you like, okay, you're no longer what I need, don't resent that person. Because listen, nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wants to sit down and think, and just carry, a dead weight on their head. Life had changed. Everybody wants to live the Instagram life. Everybody wants to bam bam. Everybody wants to chill with the big boys. So if you as a woman, you're in a relationship with somebody who is broke, or who is basically broke, because that's what she was referring to. If he is broke and you had a better opportunity to date up, would you say I love him and not date up and, just remain with the broke person, and then the broke guy eventually levels up and you are still there thinking, okay, I stayed with you, I did all that. And then once he levels up, he thinks, I need somebody at my level. Would you now resent that person for doing that? Or the guy, if you're broke and your girlfriend decides to level up and date somebody who is financially stable, would you resent that person for leaving you? Well, some people will say, what about love? If you're in a relationship and you love somebody that is broke, and you yourself, you're not financially okay, and that person is trying to level up, regardless of the love, you yourself level up. Level up, because at some point, people grow apart. People fall out of love. Some people that love themselves yesterday cannot even stand themselves today. So love is a feeling that change. Just don't be on the short end of the stick when that feeling change. Don't be the one that will come on social media and cry. I spent, 10 years of my life with you and I got nothing. And now that you're well-to-do, you're dating up, I think it's just that finding that balance of, even if you're in a relationship, improve yourself. Do something about your current situation. Always try to improve. Like, seriously, try and improve. It might be just little by little. It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you know that I have done something. I was not just sitting down for that 10 whole years in that relationship while this other person is trying to level up. So that resentment is not going to be there, because you've given your all for yourself. At the end of the day, love yourself. Love yourself. Learning to love yourself. It is the greatest love of all. So even though you're loving somebody, I think it's very important that we love ourselves. Like, seriously, people change. Things happen and people move on with their lives. But the way you treat yourself matters a lot. If you want luxury, go out there and get it yourself. If you cannot get it yourself and then you see somebody, like she was saying, that can level you up, my dear, don't sit down and be saying I love him, because once he levels up, there's 80% chance that he will start looking at big bum, and maybe at that point you don't even have those things. So he would also want to level up. I think it all depends on what people want. Like, we cannot knock anybody for what they want. If you're in a relationship and you leveled up and you realize that you're no longer interested in, or you're no longer, the person you're with is no longer your type, I mean, everybody have a right to do whatever they want to do. I think what she was trying to say is, anybody that comes out to, play the victim card, to say that I stayed with you all this time when you had nothing, and you're now, maybe you've got something and you're getting somebody else, comes from a place of resentment. Because if that person is leveling up and you are leveling up and that relationship end, I think it will be kind of a mutual understanding. Go with your money, I go with my money, everybody's happy. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. So leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know, if you're in a relationship, you're dating a broke person, and then you have an opportunity to level up, or big Cubana kind of level up, Dangote kind of level up, or $10 kind of level up, would you do it? Or would you say, oh, I love this person, I cannot leave them? And then after some time, that person finally levels up and then looks at you and be like, you're no longer my type, you're no longer my level. And then resentment kicks in. So decision. So let me know in the comment section, what would you do? Would you level up, or would you stay for love? Thank you very much for watching today's episode. Bye bye.